Denny.
Watch this. Construction workers on a crane at eye level for the pregame flyover at what looks like Target Field, Busch Stadium, I don't know. Wherever playoff baseball was, how cool is that, man? How bone-chilling must that be to be able to look the pilots in the eye? Whenever those military pilots to just be like, yo, don't worry about it. We're going to be fine. This is interesting to see. Daily Sports Podcast, News Never Takes Gambling, and I'm pre-recording this show because I have a life. But I'm not going to say that I have such a life that I'm not going to do a Football Friday. So what happened last night? Let's see. The Phillies won 6-3, probably, and the Chiefs won 31-10. That's what I predict. Nope. You know what? No, I was wrong. 31-14. The Chiefs won. Word on the street was that Taylor Swift was going to be there when I was recording this, so I guess Taylor Swift was there. How convenient. Well, she's doing her nationwide thing where she's popping into theaters all over the country to just show face, which is cool. But the big news yesterday was that the Pat McAfee show, it turns out, has been paying Aaron Rodgers to be on the show. This is from Andrew Marchand, the guy that covers media. He's the man, specifically sports media. Quote, Aaron has made over $1 million with us, for sure, McAfee said. Quote, to be transparent, Aaron deserves much more than what he's gotten for the time and the effort he puts into the Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays. It's not unusual for that to happen. It is annoying, and Pat McAfee is cruising to becoming the next Joe Rogan. It's happening. Aaron Rodgers wanted to have a conversation with Travis Kelce about vaccines, and I thought to myself, you know what's definitely worse than vaccines is this conversation. Oh, God. Check out this highlight of Brad Marchand and Connor Bedard being like, who's the real short king? Here he is. Brad Marchand's like, welcome to the show, rookie. And Connor's like, you're like 5 minutes from being a has-been, bro. And the ref's like, get it together. Like, well, welcome to the show. Like, okay. This is a lot of 5'7" energy from that clip there from B-Rad. But that, he is 5'7", so that's how it goes. Alex Anzalone, the middle linebacker for the Lions. His parents, I think he's from Florida. He played football for Florida. I think he's from Florida. His parents were visiting Israel. And he's been freaking out for a couple of days. They have escaped or are planning to return to the United States, or it seems like they're safe, is the word on the street. There has been a hit piece written in The Athletic about how terrible the Arizona Cardinals are as an organization, which is hilarious. Also, quote of the day yesterday, Tyreek Hill said of Chase Claypool traded from the Bears to the Dolphins, quote, Chase Claypool looks like a vending machine out there. Is that a compliment? If you're watching this, I'm wearing these sunglasses, and I'll be honest with you, this might become a thing. I need those big Lebowski sunglasses that, what's his name wears? John Goodman. I think it'd look okay. College football this weekend is atrocious. The best game of the weekend, there are two, USC and Notre Dame. Notre Dame's season is kind of done. It's not going to get better. They're not going to make the playoff. They could. 12-team playoff, they'd still be in, but they're not. But it's Notre Dame, USC, Oregon, Washington. But the biggest game is not ranked. It's unofficial number 26, Wyoming, versus unofficial number 27, Air Force. Air Force undefeated. Wyoming, 1 loss with their backup quarterback at Texas. So that's a good one. Tennessee versus Texas A&M in Neyland Stadium. That one will be fun to watch on TV. The Notre Dame, USC game is under the lights. If Notre Dame wins, that should kaput USC for the season. Oregon State and UCLA. NC State and Duke. I mean, there are some ranked matchups. UNC play Miami. How did Miami ranked after that mess? Oh, Jesus. But just in general, a terrible weekend for college football. There's no even real storylines I'm paying attention to, except for the Miami coach, the Notre Dame USC game, and the Wyoming and Air Force game. And I don't think that's unreasonable for me. Here it is on your screen. Like, there just isn't, the slate just isn't it this weekend. It just ain't it. Maybe LSU can get off the schneid. They have 2 losses now. Louisville, super duper ranked at 14. I mean, I think that they'll probably have a couple losses on the year. What do I know? Not much. That's why I'm doing the show for you, 12 people, which is 12. It's up from 2. It was 2. Jerry Jeudy's going to be traded, the former first-round pick for the Denver Broncos. Everyone expects that he will be traded ahead of the trade deadline, so that's coming up shortly. I mean, who knows? I think the teams to watch are Kansas City and Detroit. Chase Young is also being rumored to Detroit and some other teams. So people expect the Lions to be significant players in the trade deadline. We'll see. David Njoku, the tight end for the Browns, playing with burns on his face that he sustained in like a cooking accident, which is bananas. Absolute bananas. Let's get to Football Friday. NFL stuff. I've got some bets for you. I call them best bets, but I'm just not a good enough gambler to do that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So the first one, I think my bestest bet is not a bestest bet. It's just like I'm leaning. I think Cleveland is going to cover against San Francisco. San Francisco is essentially the unanimous. Too many things on the screen. What are we doing? There you go. I think San Francisco is essentially the unanimous number one team in the NFL right now. However, Cleveland is technically in the Eastern time zone, I think, and that's like a 3-hour trip body clock wise for the Niners, and Cleveland's defense is like low-key the best in the NFL. Kind of low-key, high-key the best in the NFL. They have the best defensive player in the NFL, and there's a lot of Aiden Hutchinson hype, and there's Michael Parsons. No, the actual best defensive player in the NFL is Myles Garrett. Said it, meant it. And I think they're going to cover. I think they're going to cover. Over 43.5 is my next best bet. That's Minnesota at Chicago. That game kicks off at 1:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Vikings are 3-point favorites. Justin Jefferson is on IR. They still have better players than Chicago. But Chicago, it's not a bad situation. And as a Lions fan, man, I think it really screwed this Caleb Williams thing. That would be hilarious. I love the Vikings over under 43.5. Would love the hook there. This is a big hook podcast. We bet hooks here. So 43, no. 44, no. 43.5, absolutely love it. And then we go all the way down. I think the Jets are going to cover against the Eagles. 7 points is a lot. The Jets have really, really, really good players. They have two major weaknesses, which is like two players. They have a C-minus offensive line, but if they had two C-plus players elsewhere, they would have a C-plus offensive line. Like their offensive line is not great. Their defensive line is crazy. Their front seven is crazy. Their secondary is crazy. They've got great weapons, and the Eagles can't cover over the middle, which is usually where young quarterbacks can thrive. Linebackers are what screw up young quarterbacks. I think that Zach Wilson's going to have a good day. And I think the Eagles are going to win, but I think that the Jets are going to cover, and they're going to fight hard. They're going to fight really hard. Then, on Sunday Night Football, the Bills are 14.5-point favorites against the Giants. The Giants have everybody hurt, including Daniel Jones, who may or may not play. I love the Bills to cover Monday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys, and Los Angeles Chargers. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure what to make of this game. I don't know. The idea that Dak Prescott is the problem is Dak Prescott has become Jared Goff. As soon as they paid him, everyone's like, I don't know. Is he any good? I don't know. No one can tell. No, how crazy is that Pat McAfee is getting paid for his appearances? Isn't that wild? Getting paid for his appearance, or Pat McAfee, Aaron Rodgers getting paid for his appearances on the Pat McAfee show, according to Andrew Marchand. How crazy is that? You can't even figure out what to make of it. Of course he is. I don't want to hear a conversation with Pat McAfee and Travis Kelce about vaccines, which is what Aaron Rodgers wants. This is not weird, though. That happens all the time. It's not abnormal. I got to read this Arizona hit piece from The Athletic. I know this hit piece on the Arizona Cardinals by The Athletic is going to be sweet. This always happens. When anything goes bad, The Athletic is all over it. They really are. They get on it. They get on it quick, too. They get on it quick, and you got to respect the hustle. They're so good at taking people down, and Arizona is widely considered to be the worst organization in professional football for things like, workplace environment, terrible ownership, terrible management. They're just a disaster. When the report came out that Caleb Williams may be considering not going to the NFL, it's not for the Bears, it's for the Cardinals. They don't want to work for that team. And now Kyler Murray may or may not come back this year. I don't know. And I can understand where he'd be like, yeah, I kind of want to get out of here. Spencer Strider, do you remember we covered this earlier? Spencer Strider was the pitcher for the Braves that said he preferred the pandemic year when there were no fans, which is crazy to me because he's in Philly now. Not playing for Philly, playing against Philly. The game starts at 8 o'clock on Thursday. Thursday Night Football starts like minutes after with Taylor Swift. This is going to be a disaster from a rating standpoint for Major League Baseball. Taylor Swift's supposed to be at the game, man. I don't remember. Remember we reported the Chiefs won 31-14 because it's pre-recorded, and the Phillies won 6-3. Said it, meant it. Said it, meant it. We're gonna keep these glasses from now on. Maybe, probably not. Maybe. I don't know. All right. I'll see you on Monday.